Ratings, as some of you may know, is one of the top 3 rating agencies in the world, and really the company provides credit opinions, research, data to the global financial markets. And Fitch Solutions provides data research services that helps financial professionals manage risk and inform investment strategies. And Fitch Learning, on the other hand, specialize in developing knowledge, skills in the financial services industry via lots of training programs, certifications, professional qualifications. But if you have any questions about what Fitch does, we have a booth available. You will meet with some of our fantastic recruiters. We have Veronica Dennis, who will be in the panel just now. She's the one who hired me in the role that I'm currently in, so please feel free to ask any questions that you may have. I'm very proud to be working for a company that really not only understands and value the importance of diversity, but also emphasize the importance of not only attracting, but also retaining diverse clients to ensure a more inclusive work environment. And Fitch partnership with BYP aligned with Fitch Group's commitment to fostering diversity and inclusion within the company. Fitch is a company that is actively actually investing into professional development for the employees that identify as part of an ethnic minority group. Our company is offering several professional development programs designed to strengthen the pipeline of diverse talents across the organization. I'm personally an alumni of Fitch Talent Path program, which is a leadership development program that employees who are part of underrepresented ethnic and racial communities can apply for, and the program offers a series of workshops. They give you a business project, and you present it then in front of Fitch senior leadership team, including our CEO, Paul Taylor. So Fitch has several employee resource groups that focus on diversity and inclusion, and I'm personally part of the steering committee of the Embrace network. And our goal at Embrace is really to highlight the diverse employee community at Fitch by celebrating cultural, religious, social, and historical heritage of our members, which are all very important cause. And I've been working for Fitch for close to 7 years now. The first 5 years was in Fitch Ratings, and then for almost 2 years now in Fitch Solutions. And I've worked for a few different employers before that, not only in Europe, but also in North America. But I'd never worked for that many years in one company before, and I believe there is a reason for that. Fitch is the first company that I work for where I have a sense of belonging. The fact that the company puts diversity and inclusion at the top of their strategic priorities provide me that sentiment of belonging. So in my opinion, Fitch illustrates what the future of work should be, which is an inclusive workplace that not only tolerates, but embraces diversity. So don't get me wrong, as most companies in the financial services industry, there is a gap in senior leadership position in terms of ethnic diversity representation. And this is across many, if not most, of companies in our industry. However, the key question is, what are we doing about it? What are these major corporations actually doing to reduce that gap? And this is where I'm very pleased and proud of the work that Fitch is doing actively to work on reducing that gap by investing into the diverse workforce via lots of initiatives, as I just mentioned before. And for all these reasons, if you're interested in seeking opportunities within the financial services industry, I strongly believe that people from our community should consider Fitch as an employer of choice. There are a couple, as I mentioned, recruiters that are there and available to answer any questions that you may have about what we do. And I have to say, being a Black woman in a white male-dominated industry presents some challenges. As a Black person in the financial services industry, you will probably encounter some challenges that other people wouldn't. Being the only Black person in the room or in meetings happens on a regular basis. I wanted to tell you the contrary. And I'll tell you a little anecdote. I used to be a relationship manager covering the emerging markets for the investors based in London. And I used to host lots of client meetings and events, etc. So one day, as the host, I was the first one to arrive to that particular meeting, waiting for the first client to arrive. And I see someone by the window looking. The person seems confused, he's really looking by the window. So I come towards that client and say, hi, can I help you? And the person said, oh, I'm so sorry, actually. I got the wrong room because I'm looking for Melissa Cloquet. And I said, well, I am actually Melissa Cloquet. So I can tell you that this particular client felt a bit embarrassed. And I know we talk more and more about conscious versus unconscious bias, which is a whole other topic. But from his perspective, because of my race, I couldn't be the person who would be hosting this investor meeting. But yeah, that was his problem, not mine. But I wanted to tell you this little anecdote. I have tons of anecdotes. We don't have time for it today, but just to give you a bit of perspective of how sometimes it could be. But you know what? I'm sure a lot of other people in this room have experienced similar situations. And the good thing with that type of challenge is that you will face as a Black professional is that it will actually empower you. And I don't think it should be seen as a barrier. To the contrary, I think it will make you more confident and more resilient into your day-to-day work. So please don't be afraid of this type of less comfortable situations that comes your way. Because to me, you need to be challenged in life in order to grow individually and in order to grow professionally. And last but not least, I think that a lot of people in the room perhaps are starting their career or consider to start their career. And it doesn't matter if you are at the very beginning of your career or not. I believe that you need to be equipped in order to be in the driver's seat of your career. So there will eventually be some bumps on the road. This I cannot tell you otherwise. But you need to take ownership of your career. You shouldn't expect anyone to elevate your career for you. And I wish I've known this earlier on in my career. Being excellent at your day-to-day job is fantastic. But unfortunately, it's not enough. You need to build a network internally as well as externally. It's very, very important. Surround yourself of people who can guide you, people who can vouch for you for the work that you do. And having mentors and sponsors are all very important for your career development. Make sure to get the visibility that you deserve for the work that you do. Keep track of your achievements. Make sure you get the credit that you deserve for the work that you do. Be vocal about your career aspiration. It is very important to be vocal because your manager doesn't have the ability to read your mind. So if you want to have more responsibility, more visibility, eventually get a promotion or better compensation, whatever the subject may be, you need to be comfortable having those conversations with your manager. And nobody but yourself has really the power to elevate your career to the next level. So I like to say you have to be comfortable being the cheerleader of your own career. Thank you. That's it for me. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Melissa, for those words of wisdom and insights. We really, really appreciate that. So yeah, guys, we're just going to also, big shout out to Fitch Group, who is the major sponsor for this event today. But also now we're going to hear from a couple people from Fitch Group, actually. So if you'd help me as well, give a loud round of applause as I call up the following people. So we have Veronica Dennis, Faith Ratu, and Mahari Hay. Thank you for coming, Mahari. So the topic that we're actually going to introduce today is we're going to be discussing how to elevate your career, integrating advancement strategies for professional growth and success.
Can I
hi.
just quickly say something? Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm currently in the middle of closing a £600 million deal. I have them in my ear. So if I disappear for 2 minutes, it is going to be fantastic, right?
No
and then
problem.
I'll come back and update you. So if you see me run off, it's because it's my turn to deliver the closing pitch, okay?
That's no problem.
And then I'll share everything with you as soon as I come back.
We're rooting for you.
This is why you see, there in my ears, there's a BYP helper actually holding my phone so I don't lose reception, just on the other side of that door. But wonderful to meet you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Checking. Can you hear me? Great. Okay.
So yeah, no, thank you guys, and we're rooting for you. I hope you get that deal.
Amen. Amen.
So just to start off, if you could all tell us about yourself, tell us about your role, what you do at Fitch Group, or on behalf of Fitch Group, or if you're affiliated with Fitch Group. So any one of you can take the stage.
Hello? Okay. I'll start. My name is Veronica Dennis, and as Melissa said, I'm part of the talent acquisition team at Fitch. I lead a team of recruiters that are responsible for recruiting across the EMEA region. So pretty much every single role that comes into Fitch across EMEA will fall across my desk or my team's desk. So we're very much responsible for making sure that we're kind of finding talented people, we're finding people from diverse backgrounds, and also that in order to meet the organisation's goals as a business. So that is my job. I've been with the business about 8 years, and like Melissa has said, I've been there. This is the longest job I've had longest time I've spent in any company, and partly because it does feel like what I like about the business is that we're a global business. This morning I'm speaking to someone in Dubai. This afternoon I'm speaking to someone in the US. My candidate was from Australia this morning, from Australia. So it really does feel international as a business, and the job that I do feels international as well. So I like that aspect of it, and I like the aspect that as a business as well, we're constantly changing, we're constantly growing, and really kind of pushing the boundaries of where we sit in the financial world. So those are things I like about our business, and that's me as a whole. Thanks.
Thank you for that.
So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Faith Ruto. I do not work for Fitch Group, unfortunately, unless you're recruiting. So I am an executive coach, a keynote speaker, and recently a TEDx speaker. So you can all go watch my video. I help professionals and leaders elevate their career, and I've been a big part of the network, as a member, but also as a mentor and a coach. And this afternoon, I'm here to interview, these wonderful speakers for you. Okay. Yeah. So shall we? Yeah. So you've done your introduction. Shall we kick? Shall we kick?
So as when Mahari comes back, he'll join the fray and introduce himself. So let's kick it off with a question for you guys. Yeah. So based on the topic and looking back on your careers, what advancement strategies have you all used for your own professional growth and success?
Okay. I can go. So my background actually was with Shell. I was there for 12 years. And one of the key things that I learned in a big organization is that you do need to take charge of your own career. When I was a graduate, I expected them to just, lead my career for me. And it was frustrating at times because we know, in our network, we're very ambitious. So I had a plan, things were not happening. I was asking for sponsorship, things were not happening. So I took matters into my own hands. I got myself into Imperial to do an MBA. But at the same time, I was also becoming a mom. And it was at that point that I realized, as a professional, especially as a Black professional, we have like a cultural values of, be a wife, be a mother, but at the same time be very ambitious. So I had to figure out for myself what it is that I wanted. And I think for all of you, figure out what you want as soon as you can. And it will change, but just figure out what you want first before you expect others to give you, open the doors for you.
I've got quite. I don't think I knew what I wanted to do when I left university. I decided on HR because I thought, what job does what does every organisation need? What do they all need to do? And that was just one of the things. I was very practical about what I thought my career was going to be, and literally thought, I want to work in. I think I want to work in a HR environment. Definitely, I'm really interested in attracting candidates or attracting people into the business, because I think it's such an important part of any organisation and anything that anything that the company does. But to get to this point, I actually very clearly decide once I'd done my HR qualification that I wanted to get a real broad range of experience in lots of different companies. And so I actually decided that I would temp or contract for a while and really just get experience in big companies, small companies, different industries, different sectors. And so I've worked in property, I've worked for one of the airlines, I've worked in commercial property and one of the airlines, I've worked for local governments, central government, and now I work in financial services. And I think that it sounds quite broad ranging, but in terms of just getting a sense of how different companies work and different organisations work and what your value can be in those organisations. I think in my earlier career that was very useful for me. Now, it's not what everybody, most people will go, we want to see a long track record, and this is one of the things that most people, when they're starting working, find really difficult to find an area where they've got a track record of anything at all. And so this can be quite difficult for people in their early careers to navigate, but have faith in yourself and really work on different projects. And I think the theme for today is really believe in as everyone said so far, believe in yourself. You need to take charge of your own career, and you really need to try and make sure that if it's not it might be your side hustle, it might be something a project that you're doing somewhere else, but kind of put your all into those things, and everything that you do counts. So don't be afraid to say, oh, look, while I was studying, I worked in Tesco's or Sainsbury's or wherever it was that you're working. All of that experience is as important as the big career stuff that you do as well. So those are the things that's what I'd say. Just believe in yourself and make sure that everything you do, and believe that everything that you do counts towards your career as well.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Melissa, anything to share?
Thank you. I really like that you mentioned, Veronica, that at the beginning of your career, you didn't know exactly what you wanted to do. Because I thought I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an attorney. That was my dream, to be a corporate lawyer. I even started law school because I'm born and raised in Brussels, Belgium. So I started university in Belgium, in law school, thinking I would become a lawyer one day. And then I transferred to university. I studied in New York, did my bachelor's degree in business administration. And then I was hesitating between going for a law and do a law degree or go for my MBA. I finally decided the latter, and I'm very happy I did, because I really enjoyed then discovering what a career in business had for me. But even then, you're studying for a particular degree, but you don't necessarily have an understanding of the different roles that are out there. So I had very different roles. I had roles in business development. I had roles in management consulting. When I started at Fitch, I was in investors relations, and then changed to market intelligence and now product strategy. So very diverse, and I think that's okay, because along the way through your career, you're going to understand what are your strengths. You're going to understand what you're really passionate about, which is very important to do a job that you're really passionate about.
Thank you for that. And before we reintroduce Mahari, just a shout out to the audience. So we've got this QR code on the screen. So if you have any questions, feel free to scan the QR code and put in your questions, and we'll try to basically ask the speakers for you. So Mahari, welcome back. Hope the deal's going well.
Yeah.
So what we just wanted to do is ask you to tell us about yourself, and also let us know what advancement strategies that you've used in your career for your growth and your success.
So, wonderful to meet you, everybody. And please accept my apologies for my behaviour. I wouldn't normally do that, but £600, I will leave my money that. So my name's Mahari Hay. I am a director at Lloyds Banking Group. I started off in the call centre. I'm also the chair co-chair of the internal Black Heritage Network that looks after our black colleagues. For myself, when I think about advancing your career, your story is your greatest asset. Do not suppress who you are. The authenticity that you have as individuals when climbing the ladder is what people buy into. My mother used to tell me, if you can choose to be anything, choose to be kind. And why I share that, I was having a conversation with the chairman the other day, and somebody asked him, what was one of your main key reasons that you climbed the ladder? And he said it was his ability on how he interacted and how he treated people. And as he progressed in life, those people that he treated well were a part of other conversations that helped him to elevate his own career. So don't belittle people along your way. Speak to people with the respect that you want to be shown. And just always remember, the power of communication is key. If you are looking to be a leader, if you're looking to grow, if you're looking to do anything, the power of being able to communicate with individuals is paramount, right? If people ask you who you are, have something ready to be able to articulate who you are and what you're trying to achieve. And again, anything that you hear me share today are strategies that has worked for myself. I started in the call center at Lloyds Banking Group. I lost my bank card. I lost my PIN number. Go get it for me. Like I was a sinner, and I was. Now, God has blessed me. I'm feeling very fruitful. And what I want to do is when I started, I looked up the ladder, and there was no people that looked like you or I that sat in very these senior positions. So now I see it as a responsibility to help people, not to give you a cheat code, but to help you navigate the corporate space to have better conversations. Another thing my mum always said is, if you ask better questions, you get better answers. So if you can teach yourself to have questions in mind that you want to know the answers to, real answers to, those are the types of things you need to ask. When you get that 30 seconds with people who can actually influence the direction of travel for your career, you know you're going to get the answer you're looking for. So that question of helpful and practical tips, ask them. I've started in this position, but my aspiration is to go here. Do you know of anybody currently, because I know your diary is packed, that I could have a conversation with in order to help me get to the next level? Because anybody that you see at a senior level, busy. I'm here on a panel and had to run out to take a call. Those are the types of busyness of the people that you're trying to get in contact with. But if you position yourself with a question and answer, they'd be more than happy to help you in that way. Sorry for the long drawn out answer, but I want to deliver real practical tips, right? So you can just pattern up quick, because it's taken me a while to get to where I wanted to be, but nothing happens before it's time. And so just ask me any questions, hit me up afterwards, but we'll have a good conversation. Hopefully that's helpful.
No, that's been so helpful. Thank you for that. And we're going to just go over one more question before we go into the Q&A. So I'll ask you guys, what is one, if you were sitting here in the audience and you were thinking about, okay, if you had to start over, what's one strategy you would use and why that you could tell the audience?
Right. So for me, I think it's listen to your gut. And I think I say that because half of the time we know what we want, but we're afraid, we're scared. And I would say that really listen to what you really want, and be brave enough to take action. You can ask people for guidance, but you need to figure out for yourself what it is that you want. So don't be afraid, and just, go for it.
I would say find your tribe. You know, you might, quite often we are the only person in the room, but you're always going to be the only black person in the room, but you will have a tribe in any organisation that you join. So find the people that are aligned for you, and as you've said, that will advocate for you at every level. You know, it might be the person in the call centre, it might be the person on reception who's advocating for you, but it might also be the chairman who's advocating for you. But find your tribe, find the people who are going to support you, whether you're, you know, when things are going well and when things aren't going well within the business, and really kind of make sure that you're kind of networking your way across the business as a whole. So, you know, I work for a large organisation, but definitely there are opportunities for small project work, opportunities to get involved with ERGs, opportunities to get in jobs. There's opportunities if you want them, and they're for you to find, but it's really up to you to, again, we say, find your people, find your support within any organisation.
I've got a whole heap in her, but I'll just give you one. get involved, right? When you start in big organizations, I'm talking from an organization perspective. I know some people want to be entrepreneurs. If you're in an organization and you're starting your career, there are things when you hang out on the periphery that don't really work in your favor. People want to see and hear and be involved and see who you are as a person. So we're talking simple things like when I started in the call center, right? All the directors used to play Monday night football, five-a-side football. And you're talking out of shape, big man, but they were controlling the organization. And then here's me, a 21-year-old young top baller, you know, playing football. And what I found was everybody wanted me on their side. So you've got a craft, but what you're happening is you're in and amongst these people that are making these huge career decisions. So it helps you to break down the barriers. That's just one example, but there are things like getting involved with the networks in a particular organization, sharing and going to different events. And I'm not talking go out to the pub and drink and all of that. Simple little things that are happening in and around the organization, from little events, how you can support. I would say, if speaking to my younger self, I would get involved in smaller company activities, because what you find is people in the higher up positions attend these things that you can begin to have smaller conversations.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And Melissa?
For me, it's difficult to pick one thing. Two things that are really important, I believe, in my opinion, is be visible, like invest into being visible in your organization, and invest into your network. I personally have made the mistake of not doing that earlier in my career. I wish I've known that. I used to be the person who really sits at the desk, be very concentrated, very tedious on my work, do excellent work, but I was not visible enough. And sometimes it can happen that you don't get the credibility that you deserve for the work that you do. And your network is as important as the work that you do on your day-to-day. And this is valuable at any point of your career, not just early on your career. Recently, I can give you an example. A senior person, she happened to be a woman, has been hired as the head of corporate communications in a company. And, you know, sometimes you may think, oh, she's very senior, perhaps she won't have time for me. But I decided to take my courage and say, you know what, let me email this person, welcome her in the company, and ask for even 15 minutes of her time. It happened that she gave me 30 minutes of her time. We had a great conversation. We exchanged a lot about her career, my career aspiration. And I officially asked her to be my mentor in the company. And now we're going to meet on a monthly basis. And I think this is very important to invest into that on your day-to-day. Building that network is extremely important. I wouldn't stress enough. I know some people who got jobs because of the network. They didn't even need to apply for the job. It's because of the network that they got some new opportunities. So I strongly recommend it. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And everyone give a warm round of applause for our speakers today.